that the corrupt rich responds to Allah by engaging in more corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, what is happening in America, and the reason why we are in the financial crisis that we are in, has to do with the corrupt rich, whose motto is more is not enough. And so therefore, as a result of their corrupt business practices, now there are innocent people who now must pay. As a result of their corrupt business practices, there are people losing their homes. As a result of their corrupt business practices, people losing their jobs, people not having access to health care, people's wages have been lowered or stagnated as a result of the corrupt behavior of the mutrafin, of this corrupt rich. So ladies and gentlemen, now what are we faced with now? It's very important that we understand, because sometimes as young people, you're not exactly sure what the fight is about today. Okay, you may say, we have an idea what they fought against in the 60s, but we don't have an idea of what the nature of the struggle is today. And you're seeing before your eyes the nature of the struggle today. You have a financial crisis. We have a crisis, we have a banking crisis. We have an educational crisis. See, the reason why the mutrafin are highlighted is because of their corrupt business practices. They cause social disintegration. And they don't care about the social disintegration that they're caused as long as they make more and more money. So these corporations who take their jobs across the water for cheap labor and spread unemployment in that particular city, they don't care. All they care about is that they have cut labor costs and now we're making more money. The unemployment that they leave, they don't care about. It doesn't affect them. The families that become destroyed, they don't care about. And that is why Allah pinpoints them, the corrupt rich. Get your act together. And as a result of them engaging in more corrupt behavior, and then it becomes due on the one God to destroy them as a result of their arrogance and corruption. So in the society today, we see social disintegration in the society today. And the only ones who can stop it, the only ones who can bring it to a halt, are the people of that given society. And of those people, the only ones, the ones who will be on the vanguard of stopping it and leading it, will be the youth of that particular society. Now you have a situation. The other day they were saying that 44% of Congress are millionaires. 44% of Congress are millionaires. And many of these congressmen and congresswomen have stocks in Bank of America, have stocks in Wells Fargo. How do you think they voted when this whole scheme to give the people who are responsible for the crisis more money? Because that was the solution. How do we deal with this crisis? By giving those corporations who caused the problem more money, giving them trillions and trillions of dollars. How do you think those congressmen and congresswomen voted about whether or not they should give money to Bank of America and Wells Fargo when they have stock in Bank of America and Wells Fargo? How do you think they would vote with respect to the healthcare initiative when they have stock in Pfizer and all these other pharmaceutical companies? No, you can't depend on your politicians. Your politicians are themselves controlled by these corrupt rich. Your politicians are controlled by these corporations. One of the differences you'll find in this time as opposed to the 60s. In the 1960s, the emphasis was on the government. The focus was on the government. Meanwhile, the multinational corporations, they were in the background in the 1960s. They were in the background. Today, it should be clear to all and sundry, the activists particularly who are involved, the focus must be on the corporations and corporate power. That is the focus that must be. So now you have a situation where all this social disintegration is taking place. And one of those areas that social disintegration is taking place is in the area of education. What as a solution have these politicians adopted? What is their solution to the financial crisis? Put it on the backs of the people. Not the people who caused the problem. No, give them more money. Don't send them to jail. Don't send them to jail. Don't let their businesses fail. No, give them trillions and trillions of dollars. But the people, the ones who had nothing to do with the crisis, the ones who had nothing to do with the corruption, let them pay. So therefore, put it on the backs of the people. No health care for the people. No wage raising for the people. No, keep the people at under $10 an hour or at $10. Don't give the people a living wage. The people losing their homes, they just have to lose their homes. The people losing their jobs, they just have to lose their jobs. And many of these people don't realize that these jobs are never, ever coming back. So the people have to pay. Don't you notice that now it's all about we have to pay more money for everything and we get less services? Don't you notice that? In everything. We have to pay more money for less services. And in the world of education, in the field of education, it's no different. You're paying more for your tuition. Way more for your tuition. And you're getting less classes, less services. What is that about? The only way that they can get away with it is if you let them get away with it. The only way that they can get away with it, I'm talking about not just on the campuses, but throughout the society, is if the American people let them get away with it. The only way they would be allowed to give money to the people who caused the problem and not help the people who are victims of the problem, the only way they can get away with that is that the American people are allowing them to get away with it. And that's why they have celebrity worship here in this country. And that's why they want people just wilding out on material things. And that's why they show you lifestyles of the rich and famous and so on and so forth to keep you distracted. Because once you're not distracted anymore, you realize, wait a minute, we ain't going for this. More tuition, higher tuition, less classes, we ain't going for this. More money and less services, we ain't going for that. We ain't going for it. And you have to make sure that you get with other youth on this campus, on other campuses, in the UC system, in the state university system, and I have to be honest with you. I got to be real with you. You may have to shut it down. Just like the American people in a larger society will have to shut down the society, stop the machinery. You may have to stop the machinery because the success of your movement will be dependent on what you're willing to sacrifice. Understand this clearly. The success of your movement will be based on what you're willing to sacrifice. They are banking. Who's they? In this particular case, the regents, the governor. It doesn't stop there though. They are banking that you are not willing to sacrifice. They are banking that you're not willing to give it up. What is sacrifice? To give up something of importance to you for something that is more important. They are banking on the fact that you have digested this teaching of becoming attached to material things. That's what they're hoping. That you're so enamored with the acquisition of wealth. You want to be rich. You want to buy stuff. They want you to be so attached to your material things and a material lifestyle. Because what happens is that the more attached you become to material things, the less you're willing to sacrifice. They want you involved in a thought pattern that is so materialistic. They don't want you following ideas such as justice and truth and fair play. They don't want you following those type of ideas. Just think about money. Just think about wealth. Because as long as you do that, you will not be able to struggle in the movement that's coming in this country right now. They don't think that you're willing to give it up. They will tell you that you have to put off your graduation. They'll tell you that because we're not offering these classes in the spring. You got to take it in the fall. And you may not get it in the fall. So they will tell you that you have to put off your graduation. You should tell them, I will put off my graduation by boycotting your